Crown Shining, and welcome to my channel. This is just trying. And today, as you can see, we are painting an elephant. This is an elephant that my sister got me for my birthday, but she forgot to give to me because she lost it. So when I found it behind the couch and opened it up, and I was going to throw it away without looking, but thank God for telling me that again, the bag, that box for this elephant, he showed me, and I'm like, ooh, pretty, who's this for? And I asked her, and she said it was mine, but she couldn't find it, so she couldn't give it to me. Which is fun, we love that. Yeah. By the way, Malia is my sister, and she's the person I'm also doing the channel Salty Sisters with, is in the description. And she's going to be uploading a video soon of us working on The Office. We love that. And The Office for my work, so Malia and I could work, and she says that she's thinking about editing my videos for me, which is great and awesome. So, today, I wanted to talk about, I want to be honest with you guys for today, and I feel like this might come as a backlash for me, but I'm trying to be more courageous and stuff like that. For the last couple of years, I've kept my interest in things generally rather quiet. Comparatively, I didn't talk to my friends too much about it because I usually thought they found it as annoying and weird and something that they just didn't appreciate. And the ones I did tell about it, they appreciated it, but I could tell they were annoyed by it quickly. And I didn't want to annoy people, and I ran into some bad friendship groups that led to enforcing this idea. So, whatever, you know? But God has led me to some people that I've started watching on and off their videos, and their names are Bernadette Banner and Mikara Terrors. I don't know how to say her name. And they're both clothing channels, and they're about one's about Mikara, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her name, is about making clothes and her life, and it's a mix of making clothes and vlogging. And Bernadette Banner is about fashion history and making the clothes a lot. That's what their channels, or at least the videos I've seen from their channels, have been a majority about. And I find what they're doing very interesting because I find clothing to a certain extent interesting. I'm not a fashion model. I'm not the person who's particularly into fashion, but I like to dress better, be better. I find if I get up and get dressed every morning, and if I take care of myself, I have a much better day and able to do more things productively because I like the way I look, and I feel like I've already done something, like making my bed in the morning. The only reason I make my bed in the morning is so when I wake up and I look at the bed, well, I have two reasons for doing it, but I look at the bed and I'm like, oh, it's made. I accomplished something already. As soon as I got up, that's great. And also for the rest of the day, I can't lay down if the bed's made. So it's like a plus thing. By the way, this video is just me setting up the base for the elephant. So if you see like colors coming off the side or something, I plan on doing a series for the rest of the month where I paint this elephant and fix the sides and make it look a lot better. I plan on adding detailing soon and fixing up paint and making it look less streaky. But I just want to let you guys know for people that are watching this and starting to get stressed. Anyway, back to the point. I really like these two channels because I like the personality of the woman. And my dad watches my videos. Hi Dad, how you doing? Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. And thank you for being a support to me and someone that actually supports me. And you too, Malia. I really appreciate both of you guys watching my videos and caring about my dreams and pushing me forward and uplifting me. It really means so much to me, and I just wanted to say here. And I'm saying it here because I know there's a very high chance that you're both going to watch it, and I just want to say thank you. And if you don't, well, I'm sure you'll hear about I'm sure you'll hear about this eventually because of whatever reason. Anyway, I really like watching these two women because they are making stuff that they care about. It's not really about the clothes per se, because there was a different girl that I watched for a while, and she did specific tutorials, quotation marks, about her videos, and I'm not telling you who she is because I've stopped watching her, and I don't know. I don't hate her or anything, it's just I've fallen out of it, and I don't want people going to her channel and being like, oh my gosh, or anything like that, because I suggested her. Maybe in a couple of years when I start watching her again, because I have a habit of going back to other creators I've fallen out of liking. I'll go back to her and be like, oh wow, this I like her content now. Right now her content isn't for me because of the place I'm at, which is all good, all fine. Anyway, I keep skipping around the point. Excuse me, again, that's the table, not me farting. It's the table, my arm on the table. Anyway, back to the point. I like watching these two. Like, let's go, for one. Brianna Banner. I like watching her because she's talking about stuff that she really cares about, she's really passionate about, and she's making amazing clothes nonetheless. And she talks in such an elegant manner that kind of just enforces, like, she knows who she is and she loves who she is. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could be like that in like my own way, because I want to become my own person. I don't want to be afraid to talk about things I like, because it's so easy to hide behind a facade and be like, oh, I'm fine. That's not who I am. I don't really care about that. When I do deeply care about something, and I just am terrified that other people won't care and tell me to shut up about it, because it has happened in the past, and I feel weird even admitting that, because then it feels like I'm backstabbing the people that say it. But it's something that they did and they said, and if they have and if they know who they are, then hopefully this will help them learn not to do it, or teach someone else. I don't really know if they know who they are, and it doesn't really matter, because they did what they did, and I've learned from it, and I've learned to not be that way, because I could have been that way, and I don't know if I ever was. I don't think I was. I've been a lot of things, and I've learned from people doing something like that to me not to do that anymore, which I thank God for, because I'd rather learn the hard way with somebody treating me like that, so I know never to treat anyone else like that. But anyway, we're off topic yet again. So, I like watching her because she's really passionate about what she does, and like I said, I have an interest there, and she really likes the stuff that she does. She loves the eras and clothes talking and fashion, and it's really, really interesting to me. And it's not even modern day fashion, it's fashion from a long time ago. I don't want to give a specific era in case I'm wrong, because I think it's Victorian, because I see a lot of her clothing being Victorian, but I don't want to assume that she only likes Victorian, you know. Anyway, and then I started watching, her channel led me to Mikaya Towers. I believe I'm saying her name right. Like I said, I apologize if I am not. And she makes clothing, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. She makes an outfit. She lives in an RV. That's interesting. Her videos are so much fun. They're so funny to watch, and you learn so much about her and her family and how much she loves and cares about people. And I believe she's a Christian, because she said she's given little nods to that. And she's just one of the most compassionate people I've seen in a while. Not to say that there aren't a lot of compassionate people, but she's so fun and eccentric and amazing. And it's just a representation of everything I've ever wanted to show, and a representation of everything I've wanted to be, in a way, you know, because she's not afraid to do things that I'd be terrified of. And yet, even if she is afraid, because she talked about one of her videos, she was afraid to do something, but she still did it anyway. She still does it, and that's amazing to me. And she talks about her interests like they're nothing, and it's just amazing. And I feel like almost I could never, but because she's willing to do that, it kind of encourages me to do that. And that's kind of what I wanted to do today. I wanted to talk a bit about I don't know if I want to talk about My Hero, or if I want to talk about, I think I'll talk about, let me think. Which one do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about my stories, and I hope you enjoy listening to them. If you are just joining our channel today, why don't you join the ride and subscribe, like, comment, share, and what was the other thing we used to do? Hit the bell button? I don't usually say that. It's something. Anyway, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm going to talk about stories that I have, and I hope you like them. Now, I'm going to say OC a lot, and for a lot of people that don't know what an OC is, it means it's an original character. And I like writing about, I have a genre of different things, but usually it's set in the fantasy, slightly dystopian, but not really dystopian present. See, I'm quite hesitant to tell you what the story is about. A lot of my stories are based around government things happening, not like, oh, the government, like Hunger Games per se. So I'll talk about my OCs instead. I have, one of my favorite OCs to think about as of right now is, I can't remember the name. thinking about their personalities a lot. So I have these two characters I love thinking about. It's, so, he's a compassionate man who deeply loves and cares about a lot of things. Like, he's super passionate, he's bubbly, he's outgoing in certain ways. Most of the time he's outgoing, again, though. And he, is very, very kind. And one of his best friends is, I believe, like I said, she's either Russian or Latina. I haven't decided what nationality I want her to be. But she's a very strong-willed, silent woman. She's like, in general, she's very, like, strong. Like, strong is a great way to explain her. She's determined, she's bullheaded, she knows what she wants, and she's not going to give up on it. And if she's not going to give up on it, then she's not going to let anyone get in her way. And a lot of people have a tendency to be like, try to undermine her and tell her that she can't really do that because of X, Y, Z. And she doesn't really stand for it, and she ignores them and does what she wants to do. But when our main character, our man, is around her, he tells her that he feels encouraged by her and that he's powerful around her in a way that her sense of strength in herself and sense of power in everything that she does, the way she walks, the way she moves, the way she talks, it strengthens him, and he really almost looks up to her in a, like, you're a really good friend and I trust you, and they actually become really close, considering a lot of people are like, yeah, she doesn't know what it's like to be a friend, blah blah blah, but she's just like, she likes him just fine. He just talks the most in the relationship. Like, he'll blab her ear off, and then he'll be like, oh, I'm sorry if, he'll be like, you know what I mean? And she'll be like, yeah, I know what you mean. And then she'd talk for a little bit, and then he's the one that talks the most. If that makes sense? I think it does. And it's just one of those relationships where she's like the strong and silent, and he's the compassionate little puppy. And when it comes down to it, the place that they're at doesn't allow dating in the team due to various reasons. And she's the one to, like, question it. She's like, so you're saying I can't date the person that I want to when that's strengthen the group? And they're like, well, if you break up, that wouldn't work out. And she's like, we're civil people here. If we break up, that's not going to work out. And he's like, well, who do you want to be with anyway? Because he's trying to mock her, the guy in charge. And she kind of points to our male lead. I want him to be the main character. And she's like, I enjoy being in a romantic relationship with him. And the guy's just kind of like, what? And because they're like polar opposites, and he's like sappy and sweet, and she's just like cold as a rock because she's that cool. And I love her, and I love them, and they both treat each other with the utmost respect, and eventually they do get together, but they're like I said, they're respectful of each other, they're compassionate, and his, like, other best friend and her don't always get along, but they respect the relationship anyway, like the best friend in her. And I think it's just really, really awesome and very cool. I also have another couple where it's this guy in the society of where our next couple is at. There's like heroes, villains. Like, this one's more set in this fantasy universe, and our main character, her name is Elise. She is forced to be a villain in the society in the short span of it. And because you're a villain in society, you have less of a chance of being in love, and you're treated very badly to enforce the idea that villains are evil. So if you're being treated this way and everyone's being treated better than you, then you need to fight to be treated better. It's a very toxic and very bad environment, but that's the point of that environment. Anyway, and she remains compassionate, kind, and she refuses to give up on her morals and where she stands because they're trying to force her to do stuff that she won't do because it's against everything she is. And she's like giving up her place of power for it, she's refusing, and a bunch of stuff like that. Anyway, during one of the training experiences, she has to stop these heroes from passing. She's training to become a villain, like I said. And the hero's sidekick is trying to distract her, and to distract him instead of to pull the reverse Uno, she starts flirting with him, and she's kind of feeling gloomy that way. Let me restart the day. She's feeling that bad that day because she doesn't have a particularly good morning. It's not like she has the best of life right now. She knows it's gonna get better, but it's just right now she's kind of like, ugh, this is kind of sucky. So she talks to, this training experience happens, and she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to be a villain, but she's forced to, stuff like that. She kind of monologues because that's kind of a villain thing to do, and she kind of likes to make fun of the villain model. She likes to make fun of villain stereotypes, and she's talking about how, because she's supposed to be keeping the princess captured, you know, that kind of stereotype. The evil villain steals the girl away, and the hero must save her. Blah blah blah. So she does her villain stick, and she's like, "Oh, I'm the villain. Nobody ever wanted me." Blah blah blah. And she's like 1,000% joking, but making it sound serious enough for like the teachers, the people teaching them to be like, not to like stop the experiment and yell at her. She's like, "Oh no, woe is me, I'm a villain because nobody loves me, hee hee hee, oh no." And she's kind of like, and her henchmen, like the people that are treating me henchmen, are just kind of giggling to themselves but listening to her because she's in charge, because she's the main villain of this test. And she's like, "Oh," and she notices that the hero and sidekick has a plan that the sidekick would distract her and her villains, and the hero would go and save her, the villain. The hero would go save the princess, excuse me. So she's like, she's like, "I'm bored. I don't really care about the hero," because she already knows him, and they're kind of friends, but not really, in a weird way. They can't let anyone know that they're friends, but they are friends. And she's just like, "Yeah, guys, go ahead and distract that guy. It'll be fine. I'm gonna take care of the sidekick here, just for the heck of it, because I don't know." And she starts monologuing to the sidekick instead, because she's trying to let the hero seem really cool so he doesn't fail. She's like trying to be like nice in a weird way. She's like, "I don't want to fail. I don't want you to fail. So let's just agree to all get good grades," because she's friends with the hero, like I said. So she starts talking to the sidekick, and she's like, "Ooh, nobody loves me." Hee hee hee. And she kind of jokes with him a little bit. And he's like, "I think you're rather attractive." And she's just like, "Excuse me. Okay, sure." And that's what she thinks in her head, but out loud she's like, "Really? Then I guess we'll have to be together forever." And she kind of like makes a move on him, like she's like, "Oh," and she like grabs his hand and like looks deeply into his eyes, and she's like, "Oh, you're just so romantic. You'll have to sweep me away from here forever." And she says that like annoying high-pitched thing, but like I said, she's talking serious enough for like the instructors to not like be like, "Foul, you know what I mean." And unbeknownst to her, as soon as she does that sort of thing, like he actually like falls in love with her. And it's not revealed in like that story, it's revealed like a while later when they meet up again at like a party, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you and I fought together in that thing and you joked about that." And she's like, "Oh, okay, that's really great to meet you again. Sorry about that. I was just feeling pretty bad that day. I guess it was a little bit awkward." He's like, "No, I thought it was pretty cool." And they just start becoming friends, and the more they feel more comfortable around each other, the more funny he is. And he's definitely like a little class clown kind of guy, but like he's forced to be a sidekick because of the rules of society. You don't get to choose what you can be. So he's able to come out more and be like, make a lot more jokes and be a lot more loud almost, because you're forced as a sidekick, you're supposed to let the hero be the main story. You can't be too loud, and you can't steal the show and stuff like that. So he wasn't trying to, but it just felt like around her he could be anything he wanted to be, and she felt the same way around him, and they fall deeply in love. And I think that's really cute. And yeah, I think I just realized that one of my favorite tropes is like a strong woman with like a nice guy. So that's lovely. I wanted to get some of that stuff off my chest, and I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you join the ride and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.